Good morning, students. Let us continue with the last stanza of the poem In the Bazaars of Hyderabad by Sarojini Naidu. We have already understood the first four stanzas and we are left with only the last and final stanza. Let's read it first. What do you weave, O ye flower girls, with tassels of azure and red? Crowns for the brow of a bridegroom, chaplets to garland his bed? Sheets of white blossoms new garnered to perfume the sleep of the dead. So just like the first four stanzas, the fifth stanza also begins with a question being asked to the flower girls. So this time the poet asks, she sees the flower girls seated at the sides of the streets, or seated at the side of the market street, in fact, of the bazaar. And she sees them sitting, with a lot of flowers being spread around, beautiful flowers, varieties of flowers, very bright, vibrant in color, sweet smelling flowers. And the poetess is very curious to know what she is actually weaving. So she asks, what do you weave, O ye flower girls, with tassels of azure and red? Now, tassels of azure and red, tassels mean bright, bright colored threads which are usually used in order to weave the flowers into them, and these are usually found in varieties of colors, and they're usually very bright in color, very vibrant in color, shiny. Sometimes they're also very shiny. So she asks them with tassels of azure and red. Azure means a bright blue color, and red again a bright color. So she wants to know what exactly she she can see her weaving, but then what exactly is she weaving these flowers into? Are these garlands or are these something else? At this the flower girls reply, crowns for the brow of a bridegroom. So what are they making? They are weaving flowers in order to make these kind of crowns, okay? And crowns with flowers, definitely these are floral crowns. And these are meant for whom? For the brow of a bridegroom. A bridegroom is a man who is about to marry. So these are used by the bridegroom on the day of his wedding, on the day of his marriage. That's a very special occasion, a very happy occasion, isn't it? Next she tells, chaplets to garland his bed. Okay, there are also chaplets which I make, strings of flowers and leaves, and these are weaved in order to garland the bed of the newly wedded couple. Okay, in order to decorate the bed, in order to embellish the bed with these beautiful sweet smelling flowers. So again, this is a happy occasion in which the flowers are being used. Then she tells, sheets of white blossoms new garnered. See, look, here comes a change in the tone. She says, sheets of white blossoms new garnered. New garnered means the fresh flowers. The fresh flowers which have been picked, the fresh blossoms which has just been picked. These blossoms are white in color, and the sheets of these are used in order to perfume the sleep of the dead. These are used in order to be laid on the graves of the people who have died. So this is again a reference to a sad occasion. Just in the previous two lines, she has said that the flower girls have said that they are making, they're using these flowers to be used in happy occasions. And in the next two lines, they say that these flowers, the same flowers again, are being used in order to, for a different purpose, totally a different occasion, a sad occasion. That is, in order to perfume the sleep of the dead, as a last, the last as the last touch of remembrance or honor to the person who has passed away. So with this we come to an end of this poem, children. We have understood all the 5 stanzas. Now this poem, like I told you in the previous audio also, it is very rich in auditory imagery as well as in olfactory images, as well as it appeals to our visionary senses. because visionary senses, because we can almost imagine the beautiful articles which are mentioned. The articles are beautiful because of their color, because of their variety. Then again, the poem, there are various words which appeal to our auditory senses. Words like, blue bells, which are being used for blue pigeons, this appeal to our auditory senses. Sitar, sarangi, drum, these also refer to, instruments which again appeal to our auditory senses. And then I told you olfactory senses. Olfactory senses means our sense of smell. Here there are various items which the poet mentions, these appeal to our olfactory senses. Sandalwood is one such thing. Henna, spice, these are all strong in smell, items which are very strong in smell. So these are a few things. Then there are these flowers which she describes. The flowers are those, the sweet smelling flowers. These also appeal to our olfactory senses. Overall, children, this is a very compact poem with a lot of details in it, with a lot of a lot of color in it, a lot of things which we come to know, which we were probably not aware of or we don't speak of much. The bazaars of the Indian bazaars are really rich in terms of all these resources, all these materials and things which are being found. Hence this poem must have really been successful in gaining, in appealing to the consciousness of Indians during that time. It's a very strong poem which very strongly impresses upon the Indians. And it definitely has the patriotic fervor in it. When she talks about, she talks about these things, she talks about the richness of India. This must have appealed the Indians during that time, impressed upon them that they really belong to a nation which is so rich, and which should not be dominated by some other subjugation, by some other superpower. This is how she gave her best to the poem, and the poem has been read over and over again, even years later, because of it being so rich in every aspect. With this, children, we come to the end of this explanation. In the next class you will be getting your written materials. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and stay safe.